Kia ora, Hone, I'm so glad to be here with you today.
Good to have you here.
Thank you so much. I've been wanting to ask you these questions for a long time because Occupy was really inspired by your address in reply to Parliament in December of 2011, where you acknowledged Occupy movement and you acknowledged the global revolution. And you really were the first politician that we'd seen do that. So, Hone, in that address you talked about there being that elephant in the room. You said that the next 3 years is likely to be dominated by the collapse of the financial markets all around the world as the banks and big business struggle to maintain their selfish and rapacious grip on the world's economies in the face of massive protest from students, workers and the poor. Here in 2014, it would seem that you were spot on. What do you see lying ahead for New Zealand and the world in the coming 3 years?
I think, unfortunately, while I'd like to think that we were going to stand up and overthrow it, I think governments, right-wing governments, have a way of stealing even more from the poor to keep themselves going. And so they constantly pop up this view that things are okay, that the recovery is just around the corner, that we're about to get into a rock star economy. The difficulty for me is translating the reality back to our people so that they can understand that the rock star economy is just going to feed rock stars. It doesn't actually feed the poor. It doesn't actually provide jobs for the poor. It doesn't provide homes for the poor. It just feeds the rock stars.
Definitely, we see that with the austerity measures that are being applied around the world globally. One of the more remarkable moments in that speech of yours were your calls to action. You told Aotearoa to ignore the expectations of a civilised society and take action to show our disappointment and our anger with the way in which our world is being destroyed. You called for us to take whatever action you deem necessary to protect your lands. Take action to protect your jobs, take action and take it now. In what ways have you witnessed Kiwis acting on that call in the years since?
The Occupy movement here was a very good example. It just showed that if people just say nah and just do something about it, then they can change things. Pity not more of us got involved in saying it. Pity not more of us got involved in more activities. By Any Means Necessary is a book written by Malcolm X, and I've always liked that phrase, that when you struggle, you don't struggle politely. You don't ask politely for something that is yours by right. You go and say, this is my right, I'd like to take it back. If you're not prepared to give it back, I'll fucking take it off you. Set aside the protocols of a civilized society, chase that which is yours, stand up for your rights.
One of the most, also in your address you did call on members of Parliament, I noticed, to donate their latest salary packet to the food banks.
Yeah.
Are you aware of any politicians that took you up on that offer?
Just me. I don't think anybody else did it.